What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a little bit of a chat about the Digimon card game official tournament pack volume 1. And we need to ask the question, is this going to be a problem? Because honestly, this might end up being a little bit of a problem. You know by now that when it comes to the Digimon trading card game, I am a huge fan. I am fairly sure I can lay claim to being one of the biggest cheerleaders of this game since it was announced, revealed, etc. And I'm a naturally positive, enthusiastic dude, so I do tend to try where I can to, or naturally do it to be honest, tend towards positivity. Well, I am worried about these if I'm honest with you. And here's the problem. So over here, we are getting these official tournament packs volume 1, and you can see, taking a little bit of a look at it, there are 8 types in total, and 1 card per pack. Okay. The problem is that each store is going to be given 32 of these packs, which in theory means that each store is going to be getting enough packs to get a playset of all 8 cards. 8 fours are 32. So, if you somehow go to a store and you get all of the official tournament packs but don't because that would ruin it for everybody else, you would probably end up with a playset of all 8 of these cards. But that's not going to happen. The reality is that the store is probably going to do somewhere, 1, 2, 4 tournaments, something like that. And if it's a smaller store with lower attendance, you might end up with 4 of these packs, which means that you might get yourself a playset of 1 card or half the collection. Which means that trying to actually get a playset of these cards or trying to collect the 8 of them, bearing in mind each store only gets 32 of them, is gonna be an absolute nightmare. And this was not like it in Japan. Because in Japan, they had the same promo pack with one gigantic difference. And I have this promo pack from Japan, and the difference is there's 8 cards in it. So in Japan, if you got this promo pack, it was given out at tournaments, it was also given away free with an issue of Card Gamer magazine, you would get yourself the complete collection of 8. I have these 8 cards in Japanese because I bought the Japanese pack, or I bought a magazine that had the pack on it. So you know what? In Japan, not a problem. I could have gone and bought 4 copies of the magazines and it would have cost a few quid, but I could have easily gotten a playset of all of these cards if I wanted to, but I'm not playing Japanese cards, I'm collecting them, so I get 1 pack, jobs are good 'un. I do not see how anybody is going to be able to get these cards in a timely fashion. I don't see how anyone is going to be able to either complete the collection of 8, which is what I want to do, or get a playset of one of them, or, goodness forbid, try and get a playset of all of them without paying completely over the odds to go and get these on the secondary market. Bearing in mind that there aren't going to be all that many on the secondary market because most people are going to get a couple of packs of these at the most, and there's a 1 in 8 chance of getting each of them individually. We don't have the supply here to really make sure we all get these cards. I am worried about these tournament packs. Now, there are 4 Tamer battle packs as well, and on the one hand, yeah, it kind of sucks, and on the other hand, these are alternate art reprints, so I don't really care. They can go away and leave me alone. But I am worried about these official tournament packs because these are not alternate art reprints. These are brand new, never before seen cards that can only be gotten here. Now, there are 4 black and there are 4 purple, so what we're going to do is have a very quick run through of them and see which of these might end up causing a little bit of a problem. And honestly, some of these are pretty good. Digimon, when you play it, you trash the top 2 cards of your deck. Now, it's a standard level 3, free cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 1000 power. But the issue here is that you can play it and scrap your top 2 cards of your deck. And purple is a typing that really wants to play from the trash quite a lot. And a lot of the time here we play Impmon. Now, Impmon will trash the top 3 cards of your deck, but it's also a deletion skill, not a play skill, so Digimon is a little bit faster in terms of actually trashing cards. Plus, you then get to keep it on the field and go from there. To be fair, Impmon can also Digivolve up into Beezlemon straight away, so I don't think people are going to take Impmon out of their decks. I don't think they would if they could get hold of these cards, but I also feel very strongly here that if you're playing a purple deck that plays from the trash, there is a strong argument here that you probably want to be playing a couple of Devimon. It's a pretty gosh darn nice card. Moving up through the levels here, we've got Devimon. That is a 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, and when you play, you delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. It's a weaker version of Chimeramon that deletes one of your Digimon, which a lot of the time you're going to want to in purple, so that you can then go ahead and delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower. But it's still, and again, it's not about whether these cards see play now. Whether these cards see play now is kind of irrelevant. It's whether there is the potential for these cards to see play, because if these cards end up seeing play in the future, and they don't end up getting any more available than they are now, we are going to have a bit of a problem in terms of how much these cards are going to cost. Now, Myotismon is your level 5. You've got a level 3, 4, 5, and 6 for purple and black. And Myotismon has got Retaliation, whereby when you are deleted, you just get to delete the other Digimon as well. And as much as I like this skill on level 5 Myotismon, do remember that we've already got this as an inheritable skill on Devimon, which is a level 4, and Devimon itself has got Retaliation. So honestly, I'm not hating this. The fact that we don't have Myotismon, because I do think Myotismon is made not entirely irrelevant by Devimon, but we have other options. Of course, you can play a different level 4 and then Digivolve into Myotismon and still have Retaliation, which is a reason to play it. And then Venom Myotismon comes in, absolutely standard, stat line 11-3, 11,000 power. And when it's deleted, you may play a purple Digimon card, level 4 or less from your trash, without paying its cost. Which, it's a very purple thing to do, right? The thing is, we have other level 6s that can play purple without paying their cost. Metal Garurumon every time you attack. Now, this is a level 3 or lower, not a level 4 or lower, but it's every time you attack, not just when you get deleted. So, slightly less impressive, but it's still going to be something you're probably going to want to do a fair bit, if I'm honest with you. Also, while we're here, going back to Devimon very quickly, do remember that an awful lot of these purple cards will play a level 3 Digimon from your trash without paying for it. Any play effects don't activate, which does make Devimon a lot worse, because if you want to play it from the trash, these cards generally aren't going to let you actually have this skill, which is a little bit sad. Mastermon lets you discard a security from both players, which, okay, is a little bit sad, but then you can play a level 4 or less yellow or purple without paying its cost, and you do get play skills, and it's an evolution, so you don't then need to lose this in order to do so. And my point is, there are a bunch of ways we can actually go about doing this. There are a bunch of Digimon that will actually work in this way, so I'm not sure how much I like the level 6 here, but then again, I think we can make very strong arguments for, all of the others as to why they might actually end up seeing a bunch of play. And my point is that whether you think these cards are amazing and game-breaking or not, that's not really the test we're looking for. This isn't a test of, are they game-breaking? Well, then it's a problem. This is a test of, are they good cards that people are going to want to put in a deck? And if the answer to that is yes, then I think we've got a little bit of a problem here. Moving up into black, our level 3 is Keramon. On your opponent's turn, you get an extra 1,000 power. It's not a great card that's not going to see a huge amount of play, but it does give you the option of boosting up your power a little bit, which honestly is something that, well, black doesn't have a huge amount of, so I can imagine you wanting to play this at some point. Chrysalismon or Kurisaramon or whatever it is, it's a blocker. Now, admittedly, it's your standard 2 to Digivolve blocker that loses 2 memory, and black is absolutely tripping blockers, but that's kind of irrelevant, because it's still a blocker, and blockers are good, and every deck sees blockers, and the fact of the matter is that you may well end up wanting to play this in a black deck to give yourself extra blockers. And don't get me wrong, this is far from the only level 4 we've got with blocker. Gardramon has blocker. That Shademon I showed you the other day has blocker, but can't attack. Now, to be fair, Chrysalismon, you give up 2 memory, so it's kind of the same thing. But still, Sealsdramon. To be fair, Sealsdramon is basically the exact same card as this, with the exception that you gain 1,000 power, but you've also got to pay 1 more to play it normally. So actually, I would pick Chrysalismon over Sealsdramon here, because I'd rather have a little bit less power and be able to play it more cheaply. So actually here, there is a reason. Oh, we've also got the Dark Tyrannomon from the starter deck, and to be fair, the Dark Tyrannomon you can Digivolve up for 1 cost rather than 2, so I do think that Dark Tyrannomon is always going to be played over this. I do think it is just inherently better, but that's not really the point here. The point is, it's another blocker that we might want to end up putting in some decks that now all of a sudden we can't. And I don't know. I think this one you could ignore in favour of other blockers, but, you know, Gardramon can't attack. And Shademon is a little bit more expensive to play normally, and Sealsdramon is a little bit more expensive to play normally, and actually, I can see an argument for wanting to play Chrysalismon as a level 4 blocker in black decks, and it's an option which is being taken away from you if you can't get hold of the cards. Moving up into level 5, we've got Infermon. When you play it, you trigger D-Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. I'll be honest with you, I can imagine this seeing play, but I really don't think it's going to see play anytime soon, because you've either got the Infermon we've already got that lets you Digivolve more cheaply, which is good, or you've got the Infermon that's got the one we just saw in BT5, which has got the ridiculous inheritable skill, which allows you to, when deleted, play a Diaboromon token. So actually, I do think that, you know, if you're looking at Infermons and comparing them, this Infermon actually is pretty bad. But who's to say you're not going to want to make a D-Digivolve deck at some point? This is going to want to go in there. And your level 6 here is a Diaboromon. And for each Diaboromon in play, you have security attack +1. But bearing in mind you've got the Diaboromon that, you know, one we've already got that lets you play extra Diaboromon tokens. And then we got all those things I just showed you, like Infermon, that let you play extra Diaboromon tokens. And actually, in BT5, we've just gotten a whole bunch of new tricks that let you play a whole bunch of Diaboromon tokens. And then if you're playing this as kind of a little bit of a tech, there is a potential to come out and go absolutely nuts with security attack 5. So actually, you've taken out no security cards, you attack once with Diaboromon and take out all of your opponent's security cards. And this is a nice example here, because Diaboromon was kind of a little bit rubbish back in Booster 1.0, and Omnimon was a hard counter because it could delete all your Diaboromon and tokens all in one go, bearing in mind Omnimon is the best deck in the format. But all of a sudden we got Armageddonmon, which completely protects you from Omnimon, and a whole bunch of new ways to play tokens, and all of a sudden Diaboromon's gotten a whole bunch better. So this level 6 Diaboromon, the one we're getting as a promo, becomes a really nice option, and that's my point here. My point is that these cards, some of them look underwhelming compared to other things we've seen, but all of them look like they've got a little bit of potential. None of them look out and out unplayably bad. Some of them look underpowered compared to things we've seen, but all of them look like they could make a little bit of a splash in the right deck. And if not now, then maybe in the future something else will be released, which will end up making some of these cards a little bit better. Like the Diaboromon with extra security attack just got a whole bunch better, because Armageddonmon gives you the protection you need. And you then also have all of these other ways to get tokens from BT5, and all of a sudden that card that looked a little bit rubbish has so much more potential than we thought it had. These cards are not available, and people are absolutely going to be struggling to get hold of these cards, either to collect all 8 or to get yourself a playset of the one that you want. Maybe you want a playset of more than one. And this is the first time I've looked at promos in Digimon and gone, you know what? I don't see how I am realistically going to be able to get all of these cards I want, especially if I want to play more than one of these cards in a deck. And I think for the first time, we might have a little bit of an issue with promo cards. Now, I have a lot of faith in Bandai. The way that they have been handling the Digimon TCG up to now has been awesome. They've been doing a great job of getting us the promos and being generous and all of that. So, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for the moment. But I do think this is one of those where we are going to need to see, sooner rather than later, some kind of answer here. But as it stands at the moment, I am slightly worried. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice. And you do need to be nice with this one, don't be mean. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.